Hello everyone and welcome back again to the Shinhan Tank Pro League. This is week 2 once again, and today we've got a few really cool matchups coming towards you. It's going to be SK Bravo versus Red, and the other one, one second, who was it? I can't believe I've forgotten. I actually just looked. Let me just bring this back over. And it's going to be White versus Naz, so going to be a couple of really cool games. Apparently I'm hiding the... Oh, I moved the STPL logo, so it's not appearing there anymore. That's fine, we can sort that later. Not really a big deal. As a matter of fact, if I just sort that out now, I bet you any money I won't be able to find it now. Either way, it should be pretty fun today. I know there's going to be a lot of PvP today, which is going to be interesting for me to try and cast, but hopefully it should all be good. Apparently I do not have the proper logo anymore. I must have deleted it. Oh well, I'll figure it out afterwards. No point trying to do it now. Let's actually just quickly hop on over to have a look at what maps are going to be coming up today. It is going to be the same as the other week, well, on Monday's cast. So we're going to start off with Grand Line SE, move on to Pathfinder, then to Judgment Day, to Sincha Pungryung, and then finally, as the ace match, we're going to be heading on over to New Empire of the Sun. So that should be pretty fun. Let's have a look at what games we're going to be seeing, at least in this series. We're going to be starting off with a PvP with Red's rOuta versus SK's Tim. That's going to be a PvP there. Sad Old Man versus Fisheye, going to be a PvP as well. We're going to have a ZBZ between Old Man Slum and Kerr. And finally, we're going to have a, well, at least fourth match, we're going to have a ZBZ between Even and Warrior, and then if we head into an ace match, we'll find out who we get when we get there, but it should be a lot of fun. Yeah, the curse of playing me, I always end up hosting maps like this, but here we go. Let's have a quick look. This table's a little bit buggy at the moment, and it also only has 12 or 14 teams that need to fix it. But there are some of the standings so far. Of course, Urk and SK Alpha are the only teams that have played 2 of their series so far, along with Rev and the other team from Monday. But that's all fine and dandy, because basically we are going to be moving on to our game today, which, as I said before, is going to be between SK Bravo and Red. Both of them did in fact lose their first weeks. Looks like the Red game did go to a ace match, and apparently SK Bravo's stats did not record. I noticed that bug, and that's why I'm a little bit later than I was planning to do. But basically, I need to fix that code. It's probably not going to work today either, but that's fine. We can work around that. It's all good. And then starting us off in the first game, it is going to be a PvP. It's between 2 players newly added to each of the rosters. It's going to be Tim for SK Bravo and rOuta for Red. And I probably said his name wrong again. You know what? That's fine. I know you don't get the uncensored version of the Red logo because it's childish. But you know what? It's fine. Either way, it's a funny logo, and to be honest, I laughed way more censoring it than I did not. So I think it's funnier this way. But let's have a look at the map we're going to be going into first. It's going to be Grand Line SE. Now, this is the picture of the Casper version. I'm probably going to replace the map with the Casper version as well. But the map version I think this was played on was actually the IC Cup version, which they made a couple of changes. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with them, but we may move back to the Casper version of the map just because that was the official one and the people in Korea still play. rOuta's appeared to say that he doesn't want to see this game, but you know what, let's all have some fun, and let's actually get into the first game pretty quickly. The song seems to be about to ending. This wasn't actually a bad song to start with, so that's all good, and let's see how it goes. Okay, I bet you any money something is broken here, but hopefully it's all good. Oh, wrong one. That's me. There we go. Okay, everything seems to be in the right place. The playback overlay is hidden, and starting us off in the top left position, we do have the Teal Protoss. It is rOuta. face reveal. Okay, and spawning in the bottom right, we do have his opponent. It is SK Bravo's Tim. Looks like both of them are having a little bit of a chat at the beginning of the game. rOuta kind of throwing himself off already, not being super confident so far. And I don't know what Faust is going on about, but that should be all well and good. We have a pylon coming up in the base for Tim and rOuta, so... Oh my god, thanks Cadenzi, I didn't see that. Oh man, thank you. I had no idea, but yeah, cheers. Means a lot. I only said man, but you know what, I use man as like a non-gender term. Gateway coming up in the base of rOuta, and gateway coming up for Tim. Of course it is a PvP, so there's not too much that happens very early on that we can really talk about until the builds start to diverge. But PvP is a pretty fun matchup. I know that it's actually rOuta's favourite matchup in the game, I believe, so hopefully he'll be able to show us a strong PvP effort here. I'm not sure... Well, the weird thing is there's not actually that many race pickers for PvP, so a lot of people do actually play PvP, but here we go. Looks like the scouts are going to go the wrong way, but they will bump into each other, so that will show them where the other player has spawned. It looks like they will both turn around. We have a 2 gateway zealot timing, it looks like, coming up for Tim. Meanwhile, rOuta does look like he's going to tech up. He's getting his assimilator. He'll be adding his cybernetics core on soon, and then we can go from there. But Tim will have the advantage here. He's going to scout his opponent first, and he will of course have the zealot advantage as well. But one thing going for rOuta is he will be on top of the ramp, so it should be a little bit easier to defend. Now, can he block the probe? This is a wide ramp. He doesn't. The probe gets in the base, and this is going to allow Tim to scout exactly what's going on. And unfortunately, that's actually going to be bad, but it looks like rOuta's going to get in the base as well, so all is not lost. He's going to see exactly what his opponent is doing as well. And that is going to be good for both of them. Now, the only issue with going for Cybernetics Core against Double Zealot is Double Zealot does beat Dragoons early on, so will be very, very interesting to see exactly what rOuta plans to do. He's going to add a second gateway in response himself, needs to make sure that he doesn't get caught off guard, and we do actually have an extra pylon as well, just making sure he doesn't get supply blocked. But with Zealots on the way to his main, is he even going to have enough units to actually defend against this? And Tim is expanding. I did mention this before, but a lot of the PvPs I've seen, the player does often actually lose if they try to expand first. And as we just saw there, rOuta actually has a probe at the bottom of the map. I'm not sure if that's going to be doing anything sneaky or if it's going to be going for some kind of expansion. But we do have rOuta just building up his forces. He will be... is he going to add on Dragoon range? It doesn't look like it so far. But with this expansion coming up, rOuta is going to have to make sure he does something fairly soon, or this could be quite dangerous. Cybernetics Core and Forge coming up for his opponent right now. Tim making sure that he doesn't die to anything stupid. Gonna get some cannons, gonna get an early +1 most likely. And we have yet another pylon coming up on rOuta now. Looks like rOuta will actually scout that Tim is expanding, so this is quite good for him. And it looks like it's going to be a bit before we actually see anything too crazy going on. It looks like Tim is just going to sort of consolidate his forces up at the front, not really sending any additional reinforcements. And rOuta could actually use this as a timing, but here we go. Third gateway is on the way. Looks like we will have a breakout, and it looks like Dragoon range is on the way as well, so this could be a very, very strong timing push due to the fact that Tim is expanding. Now, the only thing Tim does have going for him is he is at cross position. This is going to give him time to get these cannons up, to get the defense that he needs up. But here we go, the probe coming back, scouting where the zealots are running to. And hopefully this should be a very decisive attack. Let's find out if this works. rOuta is going to be able to take out the expansion. There's actually very, very few units back at home. Tim has actually completely cut units and probes to actually build these cannons. Is this going to be enough units? I'm not sure it is. That's 5 cannons. Can the Dragoons get in there? They do not get in time. And those 5 cannons are going to finish. Now, how is rOuta going to actually respond to this? DT is not an option, but it looks like he is actually going to be going for an expansion himself to try and catch up. Of course, Tim is going to have a massive lead moving forward. And yeah, rOuta, please do not spoil the game for the chat. That isn't on. That's a bit shit, but here we go. Looks like with his economy kicking in, Tim is going to add the 2 extra gateways. Going to go up to 4 gateways now against the Sea of rOuta. rOuta looks like he's adding on his Robux facility, and yes, he is. Now it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a stalemate outside the front of his base, just as we wait for the for everything to really come up. The Robux facility should be finishing soon. rOuta should actually have an ability to do a little bit of a Reaver timing if he chooses to. There isn't any cannons defending the gateways. But here we go, actually adding on a pylon to the front, just making sure those cannons do not go down. And this could be a very, very long PvP. PvP is one of those matchups where either it ends immediately or goes on for a very, very long time, and I think this is going to be one of those. Are we going to see the Robux support bay? No, it's going to be for observers. He doesn't want to die to DTs. Very clever choice. He doesn't really know exactly what Tim is doing back at home. He knows he has the cannons, but he doesn't know what tech he's doing, and he can't get in scout either. So this observer is going to allow him to scout, going to allow him to sort of prepare himself for exactly what he's doing. Looks like there was a little bit of a mistimed transfer of the workers. There are a couple of them heading straight back. Tim is not the map name, no. The map name is Grand Line SE. But here we go, looks like both teams just kind of building up. What tech are we going to have for Tim? It's actually going to be Citadel, so that could be for Zealot Legs. He is, of course, adding on another 2 gateways, taking him up to 6 gateways there. Going to give him a decent amount of production, and given the concave that rOuta is actually set up outside of his natural, he can't really break out very easily, but strangely enough, rOuta isn't actually planning to add a lot of gateways himself, not really bringing any units to sort of reinforce this contain. And this is going to allow Tim to move out on the map, take some momentum back in the game. But he can't really move out until he has the 2 observers. He cannot be sure that there isn't DTs on the way. We do finally have the robotic support bay coming up for rOuta, and it looks like some of the units may actually get caught off. Looks like Tim is going to try and intercept, but rOuta should be able to actually get away here. There is, of course, the very small bridge that's going to allow him to defend a little bit easier, get away a little bit easier as well. And let's see exactly what is coming out of Tim's base. Is he going to add Templar Archives? Yes, he is. Templar Archives going up in the back of the base. Likely going to be for Storm. Doesn't really have an opening for DTs anymore. He will in fact see there's an Observer in play. But Storm is very, very good in late game PvP. And here we go, looks like we're actually going to have a bit of an engagement. Is he the player going to come in? Looks like rOuta is actually going to try and break through here. There is some Zealots tanking a lot of damage up front from all of the Dragoons. But rOuta does seem to be getting quite a good advantage, but he is now pushing up to the high ground. Is this going to be enough units for him? More and more units reinforcing, coming in for Tim. rOuta's reinforcements are not here yet. Is there just going to be too much? He's fighting from the low ground to high ground with a lot of his Dragoons. And it's so close, there's so much blue goo everywhere that I can't actually see what's going on. But it looks like finally, now the blue goo has cleared. It looks like Tim is getting an overwhelming advantage in the army numbers here. And he will break through rOuta's main force. But rOuta back at home is going to be adding on some Reavers as well. So he should be able to hold on. It's going to be very hard for Tim to actually break in here if the Reaver gets there quick enough. But here we go, 4 Dragoons versus 5. Is this going to be enough to break through it? Looks like Tim's thinking better of it, and we'll go back the other way. And back home, he's actually adding on a 3rd Nexus, which is very, very early for a PvP. And we have another 2 gateways coming along. Another Forge. He's going to go for double upgrades. He's getting +1 armor now. He has +1 weapons already. and we currently have no upgrades for our teal Protoss. Gonna make the fights even harder for rOuta to actually win here. And with all of these units coming over, where is the Reaver? I haven't seen a teal dot going anywhere, so I don't think he's gone for a drop yet. Here we go, looks like we're going to have some Reavers moving over now. Gonna take the island, actually. No Reaver. Is there no Reaver in sight at the moment? Oh, there is. It's just running the really, really long way away. Oh man, this could be bad. Units coming in from Tim. The Reaver is not in position to help defend this. This could be a very, very decisive battle here. Can Tim actually break through the front? rOuta not having the best of Concaves. Concave actually going to Tim, but with the spread of his Dragoons, going to make it a little bit better. Nice trading there by rOuta, and finally, the Reaver is in play. What does he plan on doing? There's not really that much defense here to defend against any Scarabs, but relying on Scarabs in PvP can be a very dangerous gamble to do, as of course Reaver Scarabs do not always hit their mark. We should have a second Reaver coming up very shortly. 5, 6 gateways for rOuta. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gateways for Tim. So this is going to be a very, very important timing for rOuta to try and hit. He needs to hit before the third base comes into play, before the economy really kicks in, and Tim can properly support the 8 gateways. But here we go, we're getting another engagement. We actually have 1-1 is finished for Tim though. This could be the big deciding factor in any engagement, but of course with Scarabs, there's going to be a bit of variance in there as well. If he gets good Scarab connections, he can still push through. We're 11 minutes into this PvP. As I said, PvP can go on quite a while, depending on how things go, and it looks like we do actually have Storm and DTs mixed in as well. Going to make it a little bit harder. rOuta doesn't actually have an observer with his army, so this could be very, very dangerous. Looks like the shuttle is going to move back, pick up the other Reaver. Should see that very, 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 very soon. And it looks like rOuta needs to try and take an expansion. He's going for the... Okay, this is a pretty big play at the moment. He's going to take the island. It's going to be very, very difficult for Tim to actually get over there. Do we actually have Robotech done yet for Tim? No, we do not. So with no Robo... Oh, actually, there's a Robo. Never mind, he's getting observers of his own. But with no shuttles, really, he can't actually go in and assault that. And there is, of course, a cannon over here. So rOuta getting himself prepared. Do we have any upgrades coming up for rOuta? It doesn't look like we do so far, but here we go. Some Zealots actually running out, finding the army. There is Zealot legs done for Tim already, and this is going to make it so these Zealots can run around anywhere they want to, and they could actually come in for a flank here. This is going to be dangerous. Do we have any Storm? Can he snipe the High Templar? It doesn't look like he's going for the snipes. There we go, he gets one. One Storm does go down. It goes down on the Shell. He needs to be careful. The Shell goes down, losing one of the Reavers in the process, and rOuta's army is getting absolutely annihilated here. Units from both sides sandwiching the Dragoons. There's nowhere to run. They can't get back to the high ground with the DTs and the Zealots in pursuit even. And Tim takes a massive supply lead with that engagement. The 1-1 upgrades, the Storm, all playing an important factor in that battle. And I think rOuta is actually just going to get pushed. I don't think he can hold on here. We actually have a probe looking to try and take another base, but I don't think he can really afford it. I think he thought that engagement was going to go a little bit better, and Tim just pushing his way to victory. So many units heading on over from Tim's base. He's going to be rallying from his 9 gateways over to this base here. There's only 5 Dragoons left in the choke, no other defense. And rOuta has absolutely no chance to hold on here, and well played. GG. Tim takes